Hello everyone, that Manga Kid here to give a full series review of Silver Spoon by Hiromu Arakawa. This is finally finished up at 15 volumes. It is a Yen Press release. Most people know Hiromu Arakawa as the mangaka of things like Full Metal Alchemist, Heroic Legend of Arslan. I think there's a few other titles as well that are released in English, but I have not read any of those. I have only read Silver Spoon. I watched the anime for Silver Spoon on Netflix many years ago and really, really loved it. I was surprised how much I loved it. And then when the manga got licensed, I immediately started collecting it. And so I've been collecting it since volume 1 and buying them and pre-ordering them as they came out. So happy to finally have the whole thing. This is an amazing series. It is about Hachiken, who's on the front cover here, and he is a city boy who is trying to get away from his parents, and he's very smart. He's like top of his class. But when he's applying for high schools, he applies for an agricultural high school out in the middle of nowhere that has a dorm so that he can get away from his overbearing father and the expectations that are being put on him. And so he basically just wants to escape. He thinks that agriculture should be easy. It's not going to be difficult. It's going to be a walk in the park for someone like him because he's kind of, up his own ass about his abilities. And he's a cocky kid. And so he starts high school at this, I think it's Ezo AG, I think is what it's called. And he's shocked at the amount of work that has to go into farming. All of his classmates are from farming families, so most of them have the aspiration to take over their family farm, and they're going to this high school to, get some more experience. And so he's shocked at the amount of work and effort and hardship that farming families and farming in general, how difficult it is. And he's completely out of his element. So, we're learning along with him all the aspects that come along with farming. And so it's very information heavy, which you think would be kind of boring or whatever, but it really isn't. It's very interesting to learn about farming. It goes in depth on the various aspects: dairy farming, meat farming, chickens, agriculture. It kind of covers a lot of those topics. And so he joins the equestrian club to ride horses because he falls for Mikage, this pretty girl that he meets, and she loves horses. And so he starts trying to ride horses in this club. And so that's an extra aspect of difficulty for him. But yeah, it's a huge cast of characters, which is fun, and 15 volumes gives you enough time to flesh out these characters, which is nice. You learn more as the story goes on about Hachiken's family situation and why he felt the need to escape from it. You learn about a lot of the friends he meets, about their family situations and the financial hardship that being a farmer kind of takes its toll on the family, and you learn about small businesses, and how they're not always successful, and how sometimes you have to make hard choices. So it follows him from when he starts high school all the way to after graduation, which again is quite nice because you get a full picture of his experience at this school and how it shaped who he is and how it's shaped his future and what he's going to do in the future. It's a really heartwarming story, honestly, because it's quite heartbreaking at times, but it's also uplifting, and it's very it's quite realistic. It doesn't sugarcoat the aspects of this industry. Obviously, it kind of sensationalizes it a bit because it's a manga. It's got to be funny. It's got to be over the top, but it really does feel quite down to earth for what it is. And I really love it and highly, highly recommend it. Like I said, I've never read anything else by Hiromu Arakawa. I know that there's a lot of praise for their other series, but Silver Spoon is fantastic. It like when I watched the anime, it gripped me immediately, and the manga did the same thing. It's so, like, I don't know, I don't even know what it is about it that's so heartwarming, but I think it's just the fact that these kids are so passionate about, what they're doing, and but it follows, sometimes life doesn't turn out the way that you want it to. Sometimes things don't go as planned, but it doesn't mean life is over. It means that you roll with the punches, and you pick yourself up and do something else. And yeah, it's a story about resiliency and family um, and economic hardship, and also economic success, about old versus new ways of doing things, and how to balance your values and morals versus, it's a business and you need to make money, otherwise it's not sustainable. Um, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun ride. Uh, I will say that while I did enjoy the whole thing, I think it could have been like a couple volumes shorter, and I think it still would have packed the same punch. But, I'm glad that it ended at 15, and if it had kept going on past that, it would have just gotten more and more, repetitive. But I think it could have been, 12 or 13 volumes, and they could have told the story in a, similar way. Um, but yeah, highly, highly, highly recommended if you have not checked out Silver Spoon. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts if you've read or watched Silver Spoon. Love to hear them. Thanks.